Good morning, everybody, and happy Thursday to you. We are smack in the middle of our Battle of the Decades series. This week, it's totally 80s week, and we've been having so much fun with the nostalgia. And I'm super excited to have a blast from my past, a friend of mine from the 80s on the show today. And so we're going to be introducing her here in just a few minutes. But I got to take just a moment here, get a couple formalities out of the way. First of all, thank you so much for your understanding yesterday with having to move the show. My daughter was scheduled for oral surgery. She's my youngest. She's sick. She's never had like any medical dental things before. And so we were all a little on edge. And then the time got changed to earlier, which actually worked out well because for those of you that are parents, when you have surgery scheduled, you have to stop eating at midnight. Good luck explaining to a 6-year-old that she can't eat or drink anything until like noon. Okay, so that was the time was not working out for me. So when they said we could be there at 8:30, I'm like, I'm in, done. I'm changing the show, the whole deal. So she did really well. She's still recovering today, but I'm so excited that she's well. And also in our house, it is our oldest daughter's 16th birthday today. So lots of joy happening over here. Leah got through her surgery. Nina's celebrating her birthday. So I will take the wins this morning, okay? But today on the show, we're going to be talking about our favorite music, movies, and fashion from the 1980s. We've also going to mention a couple national days, and of course, we have your birthdays at the end as well. Please chime in. Let us know what's bringing you joy today. And with that, we are going to introduce really quickly a fabulous friend of mine from the 80s, Danielle Valero. We'll be right back after this. Good morning, Danielle. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Yay!
It's happening. It's happening.
Yep.
Listen, we have mine's kind of flattened. Hairspray isn't what it used to be.
It isn't.
Can we where's the Aquanet when we need it? Do they still sell that? Do you know?
I think they do. Definitely sell it at the dollar store. Definitely.
I'm going to go check it out. It's probably not what it used to be since we're like supposed to care about the environment and stuff today.
Yeah.
I remember that well. I'm going to start off really quickly here with a little throwback for you. Danielle's probably like, uh-oh. Here it comes.
Ah!
Circa the 80s, all right? And I didn't even realize that you and I are next to each other.
Yeah.
Sure. So this is from our second grade class at Eastern Point Elementary School in Groton, Connecticut, which, by the way, no longer exists.
It doesn't. So sad.
So sad. But second from the top there is Danielle, and third from the top with my fabulous pigtails is me. And blonde.
I had a French braid and it was falling all out. So I look like I have really short hair. It just looks weird.
Hold on. I need to see if here we go. Here we go. There we are. Look at this. This is hello. Has much changed? Not really. We look just as young as we did then. We'll go with that. I love it. What have been some of your we're going to get into like our favorite things, but like maybe a good memory you have of the 80s, like something that really sticks out to you is like this was iconic me and iconic 80s.
Okay, well, I had, we lived in these apartment buildings. I don't remember Branford Manor.
Yeah.
And all the kids in the neighborhood, we get together and we do like these little dance and lip sync to like Madonna and Michael Jackson. And we put a whole routine together. Like we were putting on a show for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun times.
I love that. And I was just, I was saying to someone the other day, it's been so challenging for me in moving back here because I think it's not just been about remembering the places, because I go down the street and there's a lot that is still the same,
Mm-hmm.
but the time and the vibe is completely different now. And I think in my head, I had it in there that we're still in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
Yeah, we're still there, but we're not.
Oh,
We're not. Things have changed. I want to really quickly say hi to Miss Brittany out in the audience. She's like, "Oh, y'all are cute." What's happening? So really quickly today, I want to talk to you guys about a couple national days. It is World Oceans Day, and I have no idea what happens day to day. So when I look up this stuff, I'm learning along with you guys. But it's an annual observation to honor, help protect, and conserve the world's oceans. The ocean provides us with many resources and services, including oxygen, climate regulation, food sources, medicine, and more. So many things to be grateful for with the ocean. And that is my biggest yay for moving back here, is being so close to the water.
yes. Same. I'm trying to get back over there.
Yeah.
I'm over up towards New York a little bit, so I'm trying to
Mm,
go back down that way. We don't have any ocean around here.
yeah. I was going to ask you how far you are from the water.
Oh, God, probably around an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's tough. Like we were looking at one time moving a little bit closer to the water when we lived in Alabama. And but you say you're going to go, because like I lived in Florida literally 2 blocks from the beach, and I probably went like once. I think, and it's weird because we say we're going to do things, but you know,
Yeah.
life happens. Life happens. So it is National Oceans Day, so that's really cool. It is also National Best Friends Day. Do you remember who your best friends were in the 80s?
Yes.
You do? Who were your best friends? Okay, spill it.
Oh, Jessica Ozer. But,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, she moved right before 6th grade, so that sucked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember Jessica well. Yeah, because Jessica's, we all we all knew each.
Jessica's.
There were so many Jessicas. Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. I had a lot of people that I think I was friends with at the time that I remember. I have lots of pictures of like Christine Appicelli and Chrissy Leonard, and yeah, like lots
Oh,
of everything. Lots of people in that picture. I need to hold on a minute. I need to bring let's see. Hold on. There we go. There we go. We got Rachel Fields,
oh yeah.
Shane Carrier, Jennifer Trusky, Curtis Saunders, Jessica. There's another Jessica Bell.
Oh, dang, 3.
Yep. Oh, and there's Jessica Ozer at the
Yeah.
bottom. Yep. Jessica Ozer, Jessica
Her
Bell.
mom did both of our hair. Mine just came out. Hers stayed.
Is that you had like that iconic it sort of went from like the 70s into the 80s where you had that little the feathering around the face.
Yeah.
So fun. So fun. Rhonda's here this morning. Good morning, Rhonda. It's good to see you. Rhonda got married in 1982, so that was a big 80s event for Miss Rhonda. I love that. What else do we have going on today? So it's National Best Friends Day. It's also, this is a really funny, I have no idea what this means, so I'm going to click it and learn with you. National Upsy Daisy Day. It's set aside to encourage you to face the day positively and to get up gloriously, gratefully, and gleefully each morning. That's a lot of G's there happening. Do you feel like you wake up gloriously, gratefully, and gleefully each morning, Danielle?
I wish. No, not at all. I'm not a morning person.
I know. I was like, I really want to have you on the show, but are you sure you're gonna be okay, Danielle? But she's here. She's ready.
I'm
She's
here.
like,
I'm here. Yes,
yes.
I'm here. I'm actually in a very good mood because I'm here.
Yay! That's what we do here, everybody. We bring the joy. All right, so we have to get into talking about our top music, movies. We have a lot we're going to cover today, so bear with us. But I would love to hear as we go to break, what are your favorite music, movies, musical artists, and fashion trends also of the 1980s? And we'll be right back after this.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. It is Thursday, June 8th, 2023. Super excited to be with you today in the middle of the Battle of the Decade series. It is officially totally 80s week. I'm joined by my 80s friend, Danielle Valero, on the show today, and I'm super glad that you're here with us this morning. Susan's here this morning. She says, I was into Southern rock, farmer jeans, blue eyeshadow, and horror movies at the drive-in.
Ooh, drive-in.
That's a whole 80s comment. That's awesome. That's awesome. I thought we would start this morning by talking about some of the top. I've got the top 10 fashion, hair, and makeup trends of the 1980s. You'll have to let me know, Danielle, how many of these you participated in as we talk about these. Number one, shoulder pads. Shoulder pads were a prominent trend in women's fashion during the 1980s. They were used to create broad shoulder silhouette, adding power and structure to outfits. And I find it really funny that it talks about adding power and structure to outfits, because there we were wearing shoulder pads as kids. Did you participate in the shoulder pads, Danielle?
I don't know. I probably did. I definitely had the poofy, like that poofy right around the shoulder shape, where it's all poofy right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a vibe.
Definitely a vibe.
In addition to shoulder pads, number two is neon colors. The 1980s were known for their bold and vibrant color palette. Neon colors such as fluorescent pinks, greens, and yellows were popular and often seen in clothing, accessories, and makeup. Susan mentioned the blue eyeshadow. Yeah, I feel like that was a trend that pulled over from the 70s as well. We saw a lot of the blue eyeshadow in 70s. And you know what's so funny? My daughter that's super into makeup, she has so many makeup palettes now, and none of them have a blue. We were trying to find a blue. Not one have a blue.
Wow.
Not okay. Where's the blue? Where's the blue? Rhonda said, oh yeah, shoulder pads, statement, puffy perm. Yeah. The perm. I don't think I did the perm till the 90s.
I did it too many times.
Did you?
I had an older cousin that was like in beauty school, so she was practicing on me all the time.
Yeah. See, and that was a thing. I think my grandmother owned a beauty salon in Niantic, but like long, like right I was little when she sold it. And then my mom was a hairdresser for a while too. So I feel like that's why every picture in school I look like a completely different person. Like there was a lot of experimenting happening in our house. Number three, acid washed jeans. They were a fashion staple in the 1980s. This denim treatment involved using chemicals to create a faded and mottled appearance, giving jeans a distinct and edgy look. I remember really having to do it ourselves, like to rough up the jeans, and now they sell them like that.
They do. It's all come back.
Yeah, circling back around a
Yep.
lot. Number four, leg warmers. Leg warmers became a trendy accessory often worn by both men and women. These knitted tubes cover the lower legs and are commonly paired with leggings or skirts, adding a touch of warmth and style. Did you ever wear leg warmers?
I absolutely
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. I remember my parents being like, "It's cold, so you gotta wear the leg warmers," and I'm like, "Yes, all the leg warmers."
All of them.
And then we'll get into 90's next week, and the tube socks. Do you remember all the and like 3 layers of tube socks to
Yes.
see how high we could get
Yes.
them?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I see your comments about music. We're gonna get there in just a minute. Number five, we've talked about a little bit big hair. The 1980s were all about voluminous hairstyles. Big hair was achieved through teasing, excessive use of hairspray, and perming. Styles like the mullet and the feathered haircuts were particularly popular. Yeah, I know a couple of guys that rocked the
Yes.
mullet at Eastern Point.
Or they had the tail, the little rat's tail.
The rat
thing
tail.
going.
Yeah. Yep, that was a thing. Brittany loves the leg warmers. They're I wonder if we can still get them, but I want like I don't want just plain, I want like the hot pink.
Yeah. They just
Like
have muted colors now, like white and black.
boring.
Yeah.
Boring. Number six, we talked about neon makeup, but also bold makeup in the 1980s was embraced with bold and dramatic looks. Women often wore bright and intense eyeshadow colors, heavy blush, and vibrant lipsticks, creating a vibrant and glamorous experience. You remember, I when did it must was it the 90's that the glamour shots became really popular. I think 'cause some of this boldness I feel like tied into the 90's a little bit as we got into the glamour shots and the grunge look and things like that in the 90's for sure. uh,
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things on the planet, jelly shoes. Jelly shoes were a fashion craze in the 1980s. Made from PVC material, these colorful and translucent shoes were lightweight, waterproof, and available in a range of styles from flats to sandals. I love jelly shoes.
I did too, but so if you're out playing as a kid, and we were always outside as kids,
Yeah,
you, there's no socks with those, so like
right.
your feet get dirty, and I would take them off, and you'd have like the
Yeah.
line clean, and then the rest would be all like dirt.
Yes. Oh, Brittany's saying she got blisters from the jelly shoes. That's not good. That's not good. I don't remember getting blisters from them, but I do remember the tan lines and the dirt lines from the
That I
jelly.
do remember.
Yeah. Number eight, leggings. Leggings gained popularity in the 1980s as versatile fashion items. They were often worn under oversized sweaters, dresses, skirts, adding both comfort and style to outfits. And some things never change because I'm wearing leggings today. It's a thing. Rhonda can't wait to talk about glamour shots next week. I love that. All right, let's see. Number nine, power suits. We talked a little bit about that with the shoulder pads, but power suits symbolize women's empowerment in the corporate world during the 1980s. These suits featured oversized blazers with padded shoulders, often paired with tailored trousers or skirts, exuding authority and confidence. Obviously, we weren't of the older folks in the 80's. However, I do remember a couple power suits being seen in the teachers and whatnot. There were some styles there. Was there a teacher in the photo? There wasn't a teacher in this photo. Some of them have the teachers in them, some of them do not. I'll have to look and see which ones have the teachers in them. But there were some pretty stellar power suits there. Finally, here's a phrase you may not have heard in a long time: Swatch watches. Swatch watches were highly popular in the 1980s. These Swiss-made timepieces came in a wide array of colors and patterns, becoming a fashionable accessory and a way to express personal style. I think we saw those into the 90s as well, because I know a lot of people into that time that had the Swatch watches too. Did you have those? No. I didn't either, but it sounds. I had the little the slap bracelets.
Yes,
slap bracelets were a pretty big deal back then. Susan loves her leggings. Rhonda, see, the leggings never went out of style because people would have been foolish to put those comfortable pants away. I love that. All right, what do you want to talk about next, Danielle? You want to talk about music or movies?
Oh, let's go to the music.
Music. All right, here we go. So I have for you the top 10 songs of the 1980s, and then I also have top 10 music artists of the 80s, but we'll start with the song. Number 1, of course, is Thriller by Michael Jackson. This iconic music video for Thriller was directed by John Landis and premiered on December 2nd, 1983 in a heavily promoted simultaneous worldwide premiere. I remember having the vinyl of Thriller and my mom putting it on every Halloween.
Ooh. I remember the music video.
Yes.
It scared me.
Yeah. It scared me too. And then I watch it today and I'm like, I could see it, but I'm also like, we've come so far with, the technology and animatronics and how things look today. It's so much different now than it was. We're a little more desensitized, I think, maybe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Number 2 song of the 1980s, Like a Virgin by Madonna, 1984. Madonna performed Like a Virgin at the first ever MTV Video Music Awards in 1984, where she famously rolled around on the stage floor in a wedding dress. Y'all remember that? I remember my grandma being like, no.
Right?
This is what we will not be doing. So funny. All right, number 3, Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses, 1987. The guitar riff in Sweet Child of Mine was created by Slash as a string skipping exercise, which the band initially dismissed until they heard the potential in it. So imagine just having this thing you're playing on the guitar over and over, and people thinking it means like it's not even good. And next thing you know, it becomes a song like that.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Brittany saying some of my favorite artists in the 80s are Madonna, Elton John, Michael Jackson, Bon Jovi, and Cyndi Lauper. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. By the way, I'm wearing my Goonies shirt today. Which one of Cyndi Lauper's songs were part of that movie? But we'll get to that movie here shortly. Number 4, Every Breath You Take by The Police, 1983. Despite its popularity as a romantic ballad, Every Breath You Take is actually a song about surveillance and possessiveness, as stated by Sting, the band's lead vocalist.
Stalking.
How many songs do we love? That we're bopping along, and then it's like it means death and destruction. It's like horrible. Oh my gosh. Number 5, another Michael Jackson, this isn't the last one either. Billie Jean in 1982. Billie Jean was the first music video by a Black artist to be aired in heavy rotation on MTV, breaking down racial barriers on the network. Love that. Another one, number 6, was Livin' on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, 1986. The memorable talk box guitar solo in Livin' on a Prayer was performed by Richie Sambora, the band's lead guitarist, using a device called the Heil Talkbox. Heil, whatever talkbox. Pretty nifty. Didn't know that. All right, number 7 was With or Without You by U2 in 1987. With or Without You was the first U2 song to reach number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, helping to solidify the band's international success. We talked a little bit about U2 on trivia on Tuesday. Are you a U2 fan, Danielle?
I would say yes. I definitely listen to the music.
I think I'm a the songs that were popular by U2 fan. My husband could name like all of the B-side singles. I have no idea. I'm like, whatever you say, babe. It's good. Here comes Michael Jackson again. Number 8 is Beat It. Eddie Van Halen played the guitar solo on Beat It as a favor to Michael Jackson. I did not know that.
I had no idea about that. That's crazy.
I didn't either. He initially thought it was a prank call when Jackson's producer contacted him. Imagine. Could you? I probably would think it was too. Well, I mean, I really would now because Michael Jackson's no longer with us, but like someone calls you like, hello, would you like to appear in Michael Jackson's? Naive Jessica would probably be like, oh my God, yes. And then it would hit me. Like that would be
horrible. Wait a minute.
It would be horrible. It's really, really dark humor going on right now. All right. Number 9, one of the next two are like big names in music. Number 9, I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston in 1987. The music video features Whitney Houston wearing a variety of brightly colored wigs, adding to the vibrant atmosphere of the song. I loved all the looks in that video. That really screams 80s to me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Love that. And number 10, another absolutely iconic music artist of the time, was When Doves Cry by Prince in 1984. It is notable for not featuring a bass line, as Prince decided to remove it during production, giving the song its distinct. I have to listen to it again now. Apparently there's no bass in the song.
Huh.
Very interesting. Now I'm thinking, I'm trying to play it in my head. I have to, everybody gonna go listen to it after this. You're welcome. Prince's listens are gonna go through the roof today. Why? Because now we're making people think. I love it. Okay, the top 10 artists include some of who we've already talked about, but a couple other ones. Number 1, of course, was Michael Jackson. Biggest songs: Thriller, Billie Jean, and Beat It. Madonna. Number 2, Like a Virgin, Material Girl, and Borderline. 3, Prince, When Doves Cry, Purple Rain, and Kiss. U2, With or Without You, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, and Sunday, Bloody Sunday. See, I don't know that last one.
Me either.
Yeah, see, we like the we like the songs that came more on the radio, I think. Number 5, Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody, Greatest Love of All, and How Will I Know? Question, did you watch the Whitney Houston movie?
No.
I didn't watch
clips of it. My husband watched it. He was trying to get me to watch it, but
did he? What was he watching that other day? Did he watch it after watching Mean Girls? Was it Mean Girls he was watching? I'm trying to remember.
No, the acapella.
Oh, Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect. Yes. That's his. He loves that.
That's his jam. That's his jam. All right, number 6 was Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine, Welcome to the Jungle, Paradise City. Number 7, we didn't mention in top songs, but it was actually AC/DC. Top songs: Back in Black, You Shook Me All Night Long, and Highway to Hell. I was not an AC/DC fan back then, but I enjoyed the music okay now.
I would say same.
Yeah, it was very pop for me then, I think. Very Madonna, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. Yeah. Number 8, Bon Jovi with Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive, and You Give Love a Bad Name. Number 9, which I'm surprised wasn't mentioned in the top songs, but it's Queen, with Another One Bites the Dust, Under Pressure with David Bowie, and Radio Gaga. And finally, number 10 was Duran Duran. And I find this interesting too, because I didn't get into Duran Duran until the 90s. Like probably later 90s. But top songs for them were Hungry Like the Wolf, Rio, and The Reflex. And I have no idea what the last song is. No clue. Rhonda said just the U2 hits for her as well. And she was like, I know Pitch Perfect when I hear it. And he was trying to deny it when we were on TikTok.
It was in the background. They're like, wait a minute, is that Pitch Perfect?
Oh. We are here for it. We listen. We send lots of love to Mike today. We really appreciate you providing some comic relief to our episode this morning. All right. Let's talk about our movies, top 10 movies. And I just want to say that I'm looking really quickly. My movie that I'm wearing on my shirt is not on the list. Goonies, I don't know how Goonies didn't make top 10. I don't know. But I'm sad. But so I'm wearing this shirt in honorable mention today. In addition to Goonies, top 10 movies of the 80s were as follows. A couple of these I actually haven't seen, so we'll see if you've seen all of them. Number 1, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. 1982, Steven Spielberg, the director, included a scene featuring a cameo appearance by his good friend George Lucas, where he plays a principal in a school scene. I didn't know that. Very cool. Are you an E.T. fan?
Definitely.
Love E.T. We especially love E.T. on the Breakthrough Show Network ever since we had Dee Wallace on the show, who plays the mom in E.T. Dee was one of my favorite guests of all time because she's just so real and honest, and she gave us lots of little inside things about her movie career, including E.T., which was amazing. So shout out really quickly to Dee Wallace as well. Number 2, I love the entire trilogy, and I actually watch them often, and it is Back to the Future. 1985. Originally, the time machine in Back to the Future was envisioned as a refrigerator. Could you imagine?
That would have been a whole other movie.
It sounds so silly to me that I'm so glad they changed it to a DeLorean.
Who goes in a refrigerator? Like, go in it. You'd have to go in, right?
The reason why it was changed to a car was to avoid children getting trapped in refrigerators while imitating the movie.
Smart.
And today we have children eating spoonfuls of cinnamon and Tide Pods. It's a different world today.
It's a different world.
It's a different world today. Number 3, I don't know. I'm probably going to get tomatoes thrown at me for this. I think I've watched some of the Indiana Jones movies, but I'm not sure that I've seen all of it. But Raiders of the Lost Ark is number 3 in 1981. And apparently the iconic scene where Indiana Jones shoots a swordsman was initially intended to be a fight scene. However, Harrison Ford was feeling ill during the shoot, so he suggested just shooting the sucker. In those words.
Love Harrison Ford.
I do too. Have you seen all the Indiana Jones movies?
I have not.
I don't think I have either, to be honest with you. Let me know if you guys out there have seen all of them. One of the ones I have seen all of is Ghostbusters. That's on number 4 from 1984. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, a memorable character in Ghostbusters, was created using a combination of miniatures and a man wearing a suit weighing about 50 pounds covered in foam.
There was an actual man in there?
Apparently.
Wow.
I didn't. I want to know who was in the suit.
Yeah. Wow.
I know. Listen, this is an educational program here this morning. Number 5, another one. I've seen all of them except the latest ones because I feel like this is the series that never ends. The Empire Strikes Back is number 5. Came out in 1980 as part of the Star Wars series. The big reveal of Darth Vader being Luke Skywalker's father in The Empire Strikes Back was a closely guarded secret during production, apparently, with only a few people actually being aware of the plot twist. I didn't know that. I figured the story was the story and everybody knew it, but apparently not. Are you a Star Wars fan?
Absolutely not. I'll get tomatoes thrown at me. I have not watched not one of them.
Really? Not one?
I've lived my whole life without watching it. Yes.
That's it's a wonder you're still here today, Danielle.
I made it.
Brittany loves some Star Wars. Also, Rhonda and Susan have seen all the Indiana Jones movies, so and I'm always going to call Ghostbusters. That's my go-to for everything pretty much. And number 6, Susan talked about horror movies. Let me know if this was a favorite of yours, Susan. The Shining 1980 was our number 6 movie. The famous "Here's Johnny" line delivered by Jack Nicholson in The Shining is an ad-libbed reference to the Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, which Nicholson thought would resonate with the audience. So that funny that "Here's Johnny" wasn't even in the script, and that's such an iconic moment.
Funny how that happens.
Yeah, that something that like not even planned can be the thing that people remember. And that's awesome. I don't, did you ever see, have you seen that movie, the original one with Jack Nicholson? Have you seen the remake one? I can't remember who played. I wanted to say it was one of the actors that was in the show Wings from the 90s. And I can't remember what his name was. Susan said the book was so much better, but it was a creepy movie. I don't know if I could read the book. That movie creeped me out.
I'm sensitive. I don't like thrillers. So the fact that we didn't watch that.
Yeah, very true. I'm the same way. I go back and forth. Some of them are harder than others. Number 7, since we mentioned Indiana Jones, here it is again, was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The role of Indiana Jones's father, Professor Harry Jones Sr., was originally offered to Sean Connery, who was only 12 years older than Harrison Ford. Connery accepted the role, creating an iconic on-screen duo. So it's funny that he played his father, but he was only 12 years older than him. That's really interesting. You know what, Rhonda? I was thinking that Stephen King would be a fantastic guest for your show because I feel like, so Rhonda hosts Spirit Sessions on Sunday, and I feel like I want to hear Stephen's answers to your final questions on the show. That's what I just feel like it would be perfection. So you all need to get on that. Just saying. All right. Finally, number 8, we have 1987, The Princess Bride. During the filming of The Princess Bride, the cast and crew frequently played games of wordplay to keep morale high. This contributed to the film's witty and quotable dialogue. I'm going to get more tomatoes probably when I say I like the movie, but it's not in my top 10 personally.
I watched it.
Yeah. Okay, number 9. Number 9 was Die Hard in 1988. Die Hard was originally intended to be a sequel to the Arnold Schwarzenegger film Commando. However, the script was reworked and Bruce Willis was cast, ultimately creating one of the most iconic action movies of all time. That's an interesting little twist, too. I had no idea. I've never seen Commando. I have seen Die Hard, but I've never seen Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Have you?
No.
Now I have all of these things I need to watch and listen and all of that. Susan said Princess Bride was such a cult classic. My husband's favorite Christmas movie, Die Hard. Have you heard that controversy that some people are like, that's the best? I don't see it.
There was some comedy recently where they were having that whole debate, and I forget where I was watching it, and they were literally having that debate in the movie.
I mean, there's a Christmas scene in it. Does the whole movie take place at Christmas? I don't know. Rhonda, fill me in on what the details because I've watched it, but I don't. It's not one of those ones that I really remember the whole like thing or reason why.
Yeah.
This is another our number 10 I've actually never seen and I couldn't tell you anything about it. So you guys will have to tell me if you've seen it and know anything about it. It's Blade Runner that came out in 1982. The distinctive Tears in Rain monologue delivered by Rutger Hauer's character, Roy Batty, in Blade Runner was improvised by the actor on the set. It has since become one of the most memorable scenes in the movie. I don't know this movie. I'm looking it up now.
I feel like I've heard about it. I don't know if I watched that though.
Apparently, there was a new one in 2017 called Blade Runner 2049, and it's a sci-fi action movie starring Harrison Ford, Rutger Hauer, Sean Young, Daryl Hannah. So it's got a great cast. I'm gonna have to add this to my. It was an excellent dystopian movie. Interesting.
Huh.
I'm gonna have to watch it now. I have no idea what it's about, but that's the number 10 of the top movies of all time. Obviously, we have a top 10 of the most popular actors and actresses of the 1980s. Some of these included in those movies, but some of them not. And I'm glad that they included them here. Number 1 was Harrison Ford, with his best movie of the 1980s being Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1981. Number 2 actor from the 1980s was Tom Cruise. And his best movie was Top Gun in 86. I'm surprised Top Gun wasn't included.
Me too. I'm very surprised.
Yeah. Top Gun in the top movies. See, that would have worked out well, but it didn't. Number 3, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Best movie being another one I'm surprised, The Terminator in 1984.
I see now.
Surprising.
I've seen that.
Yes.
It's popular.
We saw all the ones that sucked.
Apparently, the ones we saw didn't make the list.
Number 4, Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was number 4, and his top movie being Beverly Hills Cop in 1984. That was a good movie. I love Eddie Murphy. That was like at the beginning of his career, wasn't it?
That was very beginning, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 5, one of my favorite actresses, Meryl Streep. And her best movie in the 80s was Sophie's Choice in 1982. I've never seen that movie.
Me either.
Never seen that one. Let me know if you guys out there have seen Sophie's Choice. Number 6, Clint Eastwood. Best movie being Dirty Harry in 1983. Clint Eastwood is one of my favorite actors of all time. He's amazing. He's amazing. Number 7, I don't know if you've seen this. I think I've seen pieces of this, but I've also seen her in other things like Ghostbusters and number 7, Sigourney Weaver. And her best movie being Aliens in 1986. I think I've seen pieces of Aliens, but not necessarily all of it.
I don't think I've seen it.
You haven't seen that one either?
I think so, no.
Number 8, one of my favorite actors of all time, Michael J. Fox. Obviously, best movie in the 80s being Back to the Future in 1985. There was recently an interview with him discussing his Parkinson's and his career, his family, and everything else. And it was such a cool interview because he has such a good attitude with everything that he's going through right now. And did you happen to see that interview, Danielle?
I saw bits and pieces. I didn't
Yeah.
sit through the whole entire thing, but what I did see, it's very, very touching.
Yeah. Yeah. He's definitely a face of the 80s for sure, between TV and movies. Number 9, I know who she is, but I'm not super familiar with, and that's Kathleen Turner. And her best movie was in 1984, Romancing the Stone. And I think that's one I may have seen part of, but I don't think I've seen all of that movie either. So I may put a movie on and then fall asleep because I turn them on too late at night. Do you stay awake during movies?
Yes, I do. But I'm the type of person, like 20 minutes in, if I'm not into it, I'm done.
Yeah. Have you ever walked out of like a theater like 20 minutes in? I'm
Think
just
about that.
picturing you.
I might have.
I'm just picturing you like walking out being like,
I want my
this
money
movie sucked. I'm taking the popcorn. Goodbye.
back. Yeah.
Just done. Number 10 on the list was Mel Gibson, and his best movie being Lethal Weapon in 1987. Didn't even think about, I think about Mel a lot for the 90s, but I wasn't even thinking about that being him being a top actor in the 80s. So that's really cool. So what are some of your favorites out of who we've talked about today?
Harrison Ford. We share a birthday too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
How fun is that? That's
Not
awesome.
the same year.
Let's get that clear. Let's be
Make
clear.
that clear. In case anyone was confused.
Don't you dare, is what we're saying.
Yes. I'll go there.
I love that. Yeah, there's certain people, like, I don't know, like there was just so many things about that time. And one of my favorite movies from more recently that really showcases the 80s, well, I feel like, is 13 Going on 30 with Jennifer Garner. And I have watched and rewatched that movie, I don't know how many times. I've lost count. Do you feel like that's really representative to you of that time too?
It is. And I absolutely adore that movie. I'm not one to watch movies over and over again, but I have seen that one a handful of times.
I love that. I love that. And we've talked about that on the show before, I think at one time or another, but there was I am a person that rewatches things a lot. In fact, right now, in preparation for our 90s week next week, I have been rewatching every episode of 90210 before I go to bed. And so I rewatch things a lot. And there's actually like studies that have been done that when people are going through a hard time, rewatching movies and things that are familiar can be a grounding activity for you, because when things are wonky and you kind of don't know what to expect, like, what's coming in the movie, the plot, the characters, you might know what the script or whatever else. And so it can be like something that can bring you back and ground you and create a calmness maybe when things are going a little crazy. So that I tend to resort to I rewatch a lot of things often. But 13 Going on 30 is for sure one of those things. Brittany said Clint Eastwood definitely is still one of my favorite actors. Love Harrison Ford too. Rhonda said that makes sense with the watching movies. It's a great thing if you find yourself like kind of spinning a little bit with stuff that's going on around you today. Take out one of those old movies, a movie from the 80s and rewatch it. It's funny that we're saying old now.
Ugh. Seriously.
Yeah. Anyway, we're ending whatever. Yes, we're ending the show on a nice depressing note. We have to end our show though with something much better than being told that we're old, and that is with our birthdays. So here we go. So our birthdays today, there's a few different ones that are happening. Number one, Kanye West has a birthday today. So happy birthday, Kanye. In the YouTube world, one of our favorite bakers and YouTube personalities, Rosanna Pansino, has a birthday today. She's so adorable. Joan Rivers, who passed away in 2014, had a birthday today. And speaking of excellent music, who I know we're going to be talking even more about, we touched on a little bit during trivia. Bonnie Tyler is 72 years old today. So happy birthday, Bonnie Tyler. Let's see. Barbara Bush, who passed away in 2018, had a birthday today. Nancy Sinatra, you might remember her song, These Boots Are Made for Walking. She's 83 years old today. 83 years old. And comedian and actor Jerry Stiller, who passed away in 2020, had a birthday today as well. Also, want to really quickly, the celebrities in my life who had a birthday yesterday, but we didn't have a show: Chanel Marie, Fred Moskowitz, who was an incredible guest on the Breakthrough Show Network, Coleman Baker, Uncle William, Roland, and Jesse and Sarah Beth Yamakowski had birthdays yesterday. And the celebrities in my life today: Robert Hecker Jr., Daria Nashett, and my daughter, Miss Nina Brooke Dugas. Are you ready, Danielle, to participate in our birthday song?
Yes.
Here, we just fit it in. However, here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kanye West, Rosanna Pansino, Joan Rivers, Bonnie Tyler, Barbara Bush, Nancy Sinatra, Jerry Stiller, Robert Hecker Jr., Daria Nashett, and Nina Brooke Dugas. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating. And for anybody that might hear noises in the background, I have a daughter that is currently playing with something that I remember playing with when we were younger. And it's one of those little like squishy, it's almost like a little like a koosh ball. You remember those from the 90s? But it's making this balloon noise in the background. And I'm like, what sounds like a frog over there? It's killing me. Thank you, Danielle, for joining us on today's show.
Of course.
It's going to be amazing. And tomorrow, you're coming back tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tomorrow is Fun Friday. Anything goes on our Fun Friday show. You can go to projectjoylive.com and click the button and actually join us live on air and chime in on some of your favorite things from the 1980s. And Danielle will also be joining us next week on Thursday and Friday as well as we jump into the 90s. I am super pumped for the 90s because I was an 80s baby, but 90s is like my jam.
Wow.
This balloon.
I don't know if that sounded like a frog. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that sounded like a frog.
I can't with the balloon. Thank you so much for joining us today, Danielle. Thank all of you for watching or listening wherever in the world today. I can't. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I'm going to try to calm down now. And I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Project Joy Live. Bye, everybody.